Welcome to the Monday, April 28 edition of the Maurologue. I like to spend about an hour a day transforming myself into the keyboard warrior persona as I play my keyboard by ear, love melodies, love figuring out chords, and I've got a lot of songs to work on today because the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class is official, and it is a monster lineup beginning with Outkast, the duo that flipped Southern rap into global art, gave us only the second hip-hop album, Speaker Box / The Love Below, to ever win Album of the Year at the Grammys. The other was Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. The White Stripes joined them. Jack and Meg's garage rock revival made 3 chords and a drum kit sound like a revolution. How about Soundgarden finally taking its place in the hall? The late Chris Cornell's voice, well, it could shake stadiums and still break your heart. Cyndi Lauper gets inducted. She made pop weird, wonderful, and impossible to ignore with Girls Just Want to Have Fun, also instrumental in the first ever WrestleMania with the rock and wrestling connection. Bad Company rides in, the first band signed to Led Zeppelin's label, and still one of classic rock's gold standards. Joe Cocker, the voice behind, with a little help from my friends, and the legendary Woodstock moment, well, he makes the hall. And Chubby Checker, the man who got the whole world twisting, is finally honored 64 years after the twist. Salt and Peppa, hip-hop trailblazers who pushed boundaries for women in rap, they earned the Musical Influence Award. Warren Zevon, the songwriting outlaw behind Werewolves of London, joins them. Musical Excellence Awards go to Philly soul architect Tom Bell, legendary session pianist Nicky Hopkins, and bassist Carol Kay, who played on Good Vibrations, La Bamba, and about 10,000 other hits you know by heart. And Lenny Waronker, the producer who made Midnight at the Oasis, and I Love LA grabs the Ahmet Ertegun Award. The 2025 Rock Hall class didn't just shape music, they shaped the soundtracks to our lives. Well, Sinners is doing holy numbers at the box office. Ryan Coogler's latest thriller made another $45 million this past weekend. That's just a 6% drop from its $48 million debut, which is almost unheard of for a non-franchise release. That brings Sinners to a domestic total of $122.5 million in just 2 weekends, making it Coogler's biggest hit outside the Black Panther movies. Gonna try to see it on IMAX if there's ever a seat available. That thing is sold out here in my neck of the woods. The NBA and NHL playoffs roll on. Highlights include the St. Louis Blues turning Game 4 of their first-round series against the President's Trophy-winning Winnipeg Jets into a runaway. They scored 5 unanswered goals to beat the team with the best regular season record, the Jets, 5-1, and they evened their series at 2 games apiece. Jake Neighbors had a goal and 2 helpers. Jordan Binnington stopped 30 shots, and for the second straight game, St. Louis sent one of the best goalies in the world, Connor Hellebuck, to the bench early. Hellebuck, who is a perennial Vezina Trophy candidate, doesn't have the same success in the postseason. Game 5 shifts back to Winnipeg Wednesday night. Now that series is a best of 3. Meanwhile, on the hardwood, Jason Tatum dropped 37 points, 14 rebounds to lead the defending NBA champs past the Magic 107-98 in Game 4. The Celtics have a 3-1 series lead. Game 5 heads back to TD Garden. The team with the NBA's best regular season mark, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they swept the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday. Turning to medical news, researchers at Memorial Sloan Kettering tried treating certain cancers with just immunotherapy. No surgery, no chemo. Using a drug called dostarlimab, they treated 103 patients with mismatch repair mutations. The results? Incredible. Tumors disappeared in 49 of 49 rectal cancer cases and in 35 of 54 other cancers. Like stomach and prostate, only 5 patients saw recurrence and they were successfully treated. It is being called groundbreaking, though, like everything else with healthcare these days, the cost could be prohibitive for many. Right now it's at $11,000 per dose. Let's get that down, down, down. Let's save some lives. But for patients who have experienced this, it has been nothing short of life changing. At the Los Angeles Breakfast Club, speaking of life changing, cracking jokes and eggs has been a beloved tradition for 100 years. Yeah, since 1925. Born from horse loving businessmen who wanted a more playful spin on serious groups like the Masons, the LABC now meets every Wednesday morning at Griffith Park's Friendship Auditorium. Members, lovingly called ham and eggers, still ride the line between the absurd and the heartfelt. Secret handshakes, sing-alongs, blindfolded egg ceremonies, and a rotating lineup of guest speakers from Disney Imagineers to historians. After surviving a membership dip and the pandemic, the club is thriving again with over 180 members, proving that at 6:45 a.m., friendship and breakfast is still the main course. Well, Barbara Pepito has spent the last 6 years honoring her late husband, Ralph, by giving back, donating $100 million to 350 nonprofits across Rhode Island. In 2020, she founded the Pepito Opportunity Connection to support local skills training, literacy, and entrepreneurship programs. Her latest gift? A $1 million donation to fund a health clinic at Amos House, a shelter for unhoused people. For Barbara, every act of generosity is personal, she says, and I quote, "Everything I do it with his name." Big Maurologue shout out to Barbara Pepito. Well, today's motivation comes from pop art pioneer Andy Warhol, who said, "They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself." The man who made Campbell's soup cool also knew change doesn't come in a can. You've got to make it yourself. Thank you for listening to the Maurologue. Stay strong, stay kind, hold the door open, don't tailgate in traffic, and keep fighting the good fight.